have any handouts, because in a raffle, in learning how to do a raffle, you don't need handouts. If you really want handouts like the donation letter and stuff, we can electronically send it to you so you don't have to go home with more papers than you need.
Okay.
Saving you guys paper is the key.
I like how she says that, okay.
Yeah.
This
But
is
you're right, how the cups and so forth are, it is a visual aid sort of thing.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to write so hard?
It's just to fit both of our names on there.
I mean, I was just looking at this, she just reaching. These rooms echo, it's
I know, where's the air conditioning in here?
Cause you see how loud, they loud down there, where Glenn is, Glenn and Rich, they loud over there.
Yeah, because it's Glenn.
Yes, I know, that's why I said Glenn must be over there. He was in the other one.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was loud,
But you
Yeah.
feel like when they're having a college course here, it must be.
Okay.
must be. I say, where is he here? It's like, oh,
All right, we'll get started here since it's just the two of you. So, you ready, Janice? Anytime you're ready.
Okay.
Okay. So, what is the first thing you must have in order to have a successful raffle?
Prizes.
Okay, that you would think that is true. What's your guess, Sandra?
that you have to have a commitment.
What is the
to that.
number one thing you must have to have a successful raffle?
To have a commitment to have a raffle, to have, well, I guess, to know that you're going to have a raffle. I've been to one contest.
While both answers are true and the correct answers, the number one answer is you must have a good team.
Oh,
That's right. Let me give you an example. This is my good team member. The two of us, this is Janice Ogata. She's a competent communicator, former president of Warner Brothers Toastmasters, Area D40 governor. So she does have status because she's run contests. She and I work together, and I'll explain how a team works together. Okay? One half of your team
uh-huh,
is the one, whether you have two people on your team or one other person.
okay.
All right, you can have 3 people, you can have 4 people. It depends what type of raffle you're doing. Are you doing one for just a small contest, like an area or division, or are you doing for the big conferences that we have in the fall and the spring? I've done all of them. I'm an advanced communicator silver, advanced leader bronze. I've been doing raffles in District 52 for 6 years. So I ought to know what I'm doing.
I think so.
However, if you don't have a good team member, make sure that the people or person you are picking for on your team are people you can work with comfortably. That is the number one thing in my book. Because if you cannot work well with that other person, it's going to have a conflict of interest when you're trying to get donations and organize and put together the raffle all together. So you want to make sure your team players are good. That's where she and I work well together. Because what happened is we actually talked about this when we were going to become area governors, and we thought we'd work together. However, I was in Division C, she was part of Division D. So we couldn't work together because her clubs were either downtown or in the Hollywood area, versus my clubs were all in Burbank and Glendale. Therefore, we had to be separated and teamed up with other people. Now, although I had some good people on my team, she did not.
I must have
This
noticed
person this other area governor, he even lived far away, Newport Beach, to be exact. So at times it just didn't work, and anyways, make sure that you have a good team. If you have a good team members, then your raffle is going to be successful. So here's what the team does. You delegate. If you have just one other person, you delegate the responsibilities between the two of you. For example, when Janet and I worked together this year on the spring conference, we only had 2 weeks. 2 weeks
I know.
to
Yeah,
get
that's not
together
enough time.
prizes. Right. Janice will explain later why that is not enough time to get prizes for a big conference. But this is what we did. We delegated. What I did, I collected all the raffle supplies, which you see here before you. I'll explain in my half what the raffle supplies are for. So I brought the raffle supplies. I brought the name placards for the table, the decorations, everything that made it look nice. What Janice did is she went around driving from every place to that place to another place, and she secured donations. Now, I also secured donations, but she went and picked up most of the donations. She went from one business or friend to another to actually physically get the donations in addition to calling, and she'll explain that. What I did is emailed various people. I emailed various people to get donations from them, and those people, I made sure that we arranged some sort of contact between me and that person of how to get the prize to me or to my contest. So, Janice is going to go over the first part, which is how you get donations. You might have been here for Ozzy Agazi's contest training. She went over that a little bit. Janice will be explaining it more. And then I'll do the second half, is what you say to sell the raffle tickets to get the amount of money you need to offset the cost for your actual raffle, and what supplies you need. So, Janice, take it away.
Thank you, Alethea. So I'm Janice Ogata, in case you don't know, and Alethea said, what I did. But can you imagine somebody asks you, hey, can you be the co-raffle chair, and the contest is in 2 weeks? Well, that would set panic through most people. However, since Alethea and I have had numerous club contests, numerous area contests of getting raffle prizes together, 2 weeks, I told her, 2 weeks? Are you crazy? I don't think I can get anything. Well, use your friends. Utilize the places that you frequent. If you go to dinner at a certain restaurant and the waiter knows you, the chef knows you, I was able to gather, 35 prizes in 2 weeks. I call my friends, hey, can you donate a book? Hey, can you donate this? And I was really stressed out because, I'm going to back up a little bit and talk about when I did the contest for my area. I'm kind of like a worrywart. I don't think you guys know this about me. But I started calling places 3 months in advance. And I kept a little journal, which I forgot to bring today, sorry. I kept a little spiral bound journal, and I would write, I spoke to Mario on this date and this time, and he said call back in a week because he didn't have an answer whether he could give me a donation. So, like Ozzy was saying in the previous session, it's up to us to keep calling them. Because if they say, I'll have the manager call you, that never happens. So I want you to think of all the places that you go. Think outside of the box. I'm going to just list off stuff just to give you guys ideas of things that we've gotten as raffle prizes in the past. I like to go to Irwindale Speedway, which is out in Irwindale, and they're like a car racing place. So I called the general manager. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm a Toastmaster. We're a nonprofit organization. And a lot of times you don't even have to go in person, because when I did my contest in October 2013, I just made phone call after phone call after phone call. But I kept a very detailed, documented list. And the Irwindale Speedway just required that I send them the tax ID letter, and I sent them this letter, okay? I send them this letter that we can get Tammy Takahashi to send you, or Asia can send it to you. I sent this along with this, which is the Toastmasters 501c donation, or that
IRS,
showing that
tax-exempt.
we're a nonprofit organization. So think of these places. I was able to get tickets for Irwindale Speedway. I was able to get a box seat for Santa Anita Racetrack. I was able to get 2 games of bowling with a pizza, with a large Coke for a family of 4, because I went to this bowling alley. And it doesn't need to be in your particular neck of the woods. Like, I went all the way to Montebello to go get a bowling alley donation. You can get Tupperware donations. If your friends sell Party Light, you could get candle donations. I want you guys to think outside of the box. If there's a restaurant that you go to, I happen to go to some Mexican restaurant for Taco Tuesdays every Tuesday. I just asked the manager, hey, you know what? We're doing a Toastmaster contest. Would you be able to participate and give us a gift card? And we'll put it in a picture frame, and we'll put a little signage up there, and we'll get you publicity. So people see, a lot of times the places will donate to you when you say, this is going to be in front of 250 to 300 Toastmasters. Because a lot of times they ask us to get donations for the fall conference and the spring conference. So if you kind of tell the businesses that their business, their certificate that they're donating will be seen by over 200 to 300 people, they're a lot more helpful, willing to give you some donations. And so also you can go to grocery stores, like Asia said, and I didn't know this before, like until I started to run a contest. You can go to Vons, you can go to Pavilions, you can go to Trader Joe's, you can go to all these places, but you have to go, like, probably, let's say your contest is in September, you probably need to go now, because like towards the end of the year it's a little bit harder to get donations because, like Asia said, the budget runs out. So this letter will come in super handy with the letterhead and also with the IRS tax form. I'm trying to think what else I did. If you know people that have written books, like your friends that have written books, or if you know somebody that can donate taxes, like tax services, you really have to just think, what would you like to get, and what resources do you have around you? Like what can you get that immediately? So let's just go over the things that I was able to get in 2 weeks. Well, in 2 weeks I was able to get boot camp with Maurice Domino, who everybody knows. Everyone knows him. He's a paid professional public speaker. And then I was able to get 2 books from Heidi, his girlfriend Heidi Lee, and a coaching session. So they were just like, woo, okay, yeah, we'll donate to you, no problem. Then, excuse me, I started asking around, asking my coworkers, hey, you know that stuff that's in the corner in your office, if you don't want it anymore, can I take it and donate it to the Toastmasters? So I was able to acquire books, autobiographies, some like cassette kind of, or DVD set where this man tells you,
Training DVDs.
yeah, training DVDs. What else did I get for that contest? You never know what somebody is gonna want, okay? One man's junk is another man's treasure, okay? Sometimes I got jewelry boxes that I had never opened, because if you have shopaholic friends, be like, hey, you want to empty out your garage? I donated a purse. I donated jewelry boxes. You won that purse, yep. But the thing is, we want other people to know and have the knowledge how to get prizes. And the thing about getting prizes and thinking outside of the box is we were able to get like a wetsuit one year. Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
Okay, but I wasn't the one that got it, but I'm just saying think out of the box, because there was a woman who got a $400 wetsuit donated, and that was donated in the fall conference. And the thing is, we thought it was a great prize, right? But the person that won it didn't stay, so we used that wetsuit for another contest. So, I mean, you never know what's going to appeal to someone. Like surfing lessons, like calligraphy lessons. So just think, what do you already have at your disposal, okay? If, like I said, if you go to a restaurant all the time, get the manager to donate a gift card. If you go to a baseball game, see if maybe you can talk to the Dodgers general manager, get some Dodger tickets. If you know anyone that works for a TV show, or if there's a concert, maybe someone wants to donate. And then also too, excuse me, the other way you can get good prizes is you can just ask your friends and family who are not in Toastmasters. You'd be like, hey, you know what? Would you be willing to donate like a $25 gift card to Vons? Or would you be willing to donate a $50 Visa gift card? So getting donations is go ahead.
Oh yeah, or it might say, oh, remember when you went to that awful seminar, but they gave you some great, pretty watches? Do you still have those?
Yeah, just hit up all your friends. I mean, I think the thing is, people think it's really scary when you're asking for something. Like, I'm going to ask you for that pair of glasses because you're an optometrist, right? Can you please donate that to the Toastmasters? All he can say to me is no. But most likely, if I present the letter and I present the IRS form, he'll say, oh, I'll see what I can do. So the first step would be, don't be afraid to ask. Please don't be afraid to ask, because you never know if someone's going to say yes. And then when somebody does tell you no, don't take it personally. But I think it's really fun. Think of what men want too, and not just what women want. As women, we think, okay, we're going to get some Mary Kay stuff. We're going to get a tote bag. We're going to get this. But I overheard, people at the raffle table, oh, there's really nothing for men. Well, get, a sports card to pro bass shops, or, like I said, bowling, horse racing. That appealed to the men, too. And then if you know anyone that works at Disneyland or Knott's Berry Farm or something like that, and anyone that works at the movies, I mean, just think the realm is, the possibilities are endless. So, but the other thing is, I just want to touch really briefly that it's really important when you have a good raffle team that you have a bucket with a handle, because you can put all the raffle tickets in here. Like you could put the whole roll in here, and I know Alethea is probably going to go over this too, but if I'm selling the raffle tickets for a lot of money, not a lot of money, but what I'm saying is, okay, so the best value for your dollars is you're going to give me, well,
$5 get you 7, $10 get you 15, $20 I will give you 30 tickets, and for $40 you get 75.
that's a lot of tickets. Okay, so if you really, really, really want to win something, donate $40. But let me tell you what hurt us at the spring conference was the leaders pulled a switch on us, because we did have all different color raffle tickets, and we did have 3 buckets with handles. But at the last minute, they said, we're gonna do 2 raffles. So we're gonna use yellow for the morning, and we're gonna use this for the afternoon. So my advice is always have a bucket with a handle. Have your 3 or 4 people have raffle tickets with them. Have them pre-cut, because if they go, oh, I want to buy $10 worth. Well, here's your 15 tickets, and please instruct them what to do with the tickets. They look at the tickets and they go, So what I usually do is I like to fold it in half for them, and as they're looking in their wallet to get the money, I tear it up and I say, okay, this part is the part you keep. The one that says keep this coupon. But we all know most people we don't want to read, right? We want to be verbally told what to do, myself included. So I'll tear it up and I'll say, okay, now these tickets, you just tear them off, and whatever prize that you want to win, you put it in the corresponding cup. So then they know that they're supposed to keep this ticket. So I'm assuming that people are like me and they don't want to read. They want to give you the money. They will, please tell me what to do. So, I just chit chat with them. I look them in the eye. I fold it in half. I rip it for them, and I find that to be really helpful, because then you don't get the question like, you hand them this, right? And they go, oh, what do I do with the tickets? Because I don't know if you guys have ever gotten that question, but if you just hand it to them, they go, what do I do? And time after time after time, if I just hand the tickets to someone, they ask me what to do with them. So don't be afraid to explain to them what to do. And the reason that Alethea and I are doing this workshop is we want to compete in contests, so we don't want to do as many raffles as we have been doing. Because once you get known for something, right, everybody keeps calling us, oh, our contest is this day, can you help us? Our contest is this day. Well, Alethea told me that she's retiring, so I'm either going to end up doing this by myself or with another team member, but we want to pass on the knowledge to you guys. So come on up, Alethea, and continue with the knowledge that you have.
All right, so let me touch on what she touched on already. Buckets. Good idea to have buckets with a handle. Now, you don't have to have buckets with a handle. You can have a container, a box, and so forth. This bucket was going to get thrown out. My brother is an insurance agent. A product provider sent this to him. It was a Super Bowl related bucket. My mom said, we don't need this. Let's get rid of it. I said, Mom, it's football, Super Bowl, and mine. Don't throw that out. She goes, what are you going to use it for? I said, I do a lot of raffles within Toastmasters. Can I have the bucket? She goes, all right, you can have the bucket. I won't throw it out. And she knows I'm such a huge football fan that I had to save the bucket just because I don't care that the product provider that it's from. I just covered it up with this. But this, best place to get raffle supplies, and I'm kid you not, if you're on a tight budget as an area or division director and you have to do a raffle, well, you don't want to spend a lot of money. 99-cent store. And in the fall, usually between August and September is when they start putting out all their Halloween stuff at no matter what store. And a lot of times if you shop in August, which is still summer, for Halloween buckets, or other holiday items, it's going to be at a 50% discount. Or if you get it at the 99-cent store like I did, most of the buckets, like even this bucket, this is an ice bucket for parties, 99-cent store. The reason I bought this, it was purple. I have an impulse for purple things. And it was 99 cents. I said, I can't pass this up because I can walk around like this, even though it's a handle, with my purple bucket. Now, what's the purpose of having these buckets? The handles are very convenient, but also they stand out. You get noticed in a room when there's hundreds of people all over the place and you're selling raffle tickets. Look at how noticed you get because this is a Halloween bucket and this is a purple bucket. And then this one, it's not just that it's metal, makes noise. So it makes it noticeable to you. It's great PR for you and it's very simple. Now, Janice, like she said, you do put your tickets in here. But the other reason, make sure the buckets are big. You know why? I throw all the money in here. 6 years, I've been in Toastmasters for 7 years. And 6 years ago, when I did my first raffle, I was brand new to Toastmasters, only been in for about a year. And someone says, hey, how would you like to do a raffle? I said, what's that? And they said, oh, all you have to do is get donations. They didn't tell me about the donation letter that you have, the IRS tax form. They told me nothing other than get donations. I went home thinking to myself, how am I supposed to do that? So the first time I saved grace and I gave myself a $20 budget and I went and bought everything at the 99-cent store. But I picked out all items. Now, typically you don't do that because along the way I learned that getting donations is easier said than done by asking friends, having the right people. And this is the brilliant thing. When you have friends in high places, which I do, then you can ask them for favors. You can ask them to help you out. For example, a friend of hers, which is a friend of mine, I emailed her. I said, Jackie, I know you work for Warner Brothers. Is it possible that Warner Brothers can donate to Toastmasters? They've done it before in the past. They've given us gift baskets and other items. Would it be possible to donate? How do I go about doing that? So then Jackie referred me to the right person that does the donations from Warner Brothers. And then what I did is contacted that person directly. And if they weren't available, they referred me to somebody else. Because the person she referred me to was actually out of town. She referred me to someone else who happened to be there. And for the spring conference, we got 16 different donations, a huge box that Janice went to pick up. It's really close to where she works. I thought, oh, this is great. So it's all about associations. Who do you know? When I roped one of my Toastmaster friends from my club, he was our club president. We sat around and having an executive council meeting, and I said to him, I said, Dan, I'm on the committee for the fall conference, and I'm looking for someone to do a raffle. And I know how good you are. How would you be interested in doing that? But I worded it slightly different. And then what he said, oh yeah, sure, no problem. Well, because he inadvertently said it at our exec council meeting, he agreed to do it. So then I followed up with him via email, and he goes, well, since I committed to doing it, sure, why not? Through his help, I took all the prizes. He got all the donations, and he sold the raffle tickets. And this was the year that Linda Koda-Kumagai was our district governor. That was one of the best fall conference raffles ever because he got jewelry from Tiffany's. He got a giant gift basket that was this big, full of chocolates. There were bottles of wine. There was a boxing poster that he personally donated from his collection that was framed. Remote-controlled cars. There were various things. And then there was also tickets to Magic Mountain that one of the division or higher-up governors got. So it's all about the people you know. And I asked him, I said, how did you get such great donations? He said, well, I knew people, and I just talked to them, and he had a lawyer friend whose wife works at Tiffany's, and he asked, and that's how he got the Tiffany's donation. And it wasn't just jewelry for the ladies, it was a leather wallet for the men. So those are big ticket items. So, where do you get raffle tickets? There's two places that I typically go to get raffle tickets. Number one, you can go to Office Depot or Staples, and Office Supply Store will have them. Generally speaking, a roll of raffle tickets is $9.99 plus tax. But I lately have been going to Office Depot, you buy a set. It's like $20 for the set. It's a box that has all your raffle stuff. in it, but it's got 2 rows of tickets, red or blue, depending on the color, and each roll has 1,000 tickets. So that'll last you both your contests. It's very simple. The other place I like to go to is orientaltrading.com because that's great for many things. That's great to get raffle tickets, to get supplies, like if you have table decorations, go there. For everything else, such as cups, and these we made. Where do I go to get cups? You can go to Ralph's, because I've done that before. That's where I got these solo cups. But you can also go to the 99-cent store. These are great places to go, and it's cheap. And besides that, here's the thing. After, when it's time to clean up, what you do is when you're picking the car, the ticket, and you draw it like this, I take all the rest that I didn't draw, put it into the empty cup already, and I stack the cups accordingly. And then what I do is, at the very end, I dump all the tickets into the trash, and I save the cups for the next contest. Don't throw these away. Some of these cups that I use, that you guys buy raffle tickets for me every year, I've had them for 5 years. So, you save them, you do yourself justice. Now let's go over something. This is very important. In a contest, once upon a time, and Janice might be able to relate to this. I'm not sure that you guys do because you're newer to the district and to Toastmasters. When I first joined 7 years ago, I went to my first contest. I had to pay a $12 registration fee to get into the contest. $12 to get into a contest? Yes. I didn't think so. So I was like, okay, I'll pay the $12. What the heck? Because there's refreshments. You're going to come support whoever it is competing from your club, and you want to cheer them on, rah, rah, and you want to sit there and listen to what the district has to say. Then, break time hits, and what happens? The raffle person comes along and says, how would you like to buy tickets? You're not prepared to dish out more money. You're not. And they smooth talk you with everything under the sun. Now, sometimes you will get people that say, I don't have the money. Well, I have a solution for that. When you run up against someone that says, I don't have the money, I didn't bring any cash today, there's new options. First option is I say, well, if you have your checkbook, make the check payable to District 52. I do accept checks. So you can accept checks. And more recently, we have the Squared app. So whoever's the district treasurer, whether it's Lilith or someone else, what they do is they have the Squared app at registration for any of the bigger conferences or at one of the smaller area or division contests. Registration, as long as they have the Squared app, you can use that. They can pay by credit card. $5, swipe the thing, they sign it, then you give them the raffle tickets. It's very easy. So there's 3 options they have for paying. That way, you make the money. Just make sure that at the end, when you're counting up how much money and you have to pass it along and give all your funds to the district treasurer, that you take into account. Here's how many checks I got. Here's how many people paid by Squared. And they should know that. And then you just itemize it, put it together, and so forth. Now, the next important thing you have to have in a raffle contest is the day of the actual contest, whether it's an area, division, or a big conference. You need to have the right words that you're saying. How else are you supposed to make a lot of funds? Because a lot of times, too, there are venues that do charge. Or they give you the option. Some venues, you can have it for free if you order food off their menu. And most of us, we use fire stations, police stations that have community rooms. Or I have been to a contest at Warner Brothers in the area where they met, and it was a common area like this, like a break room or something. So there are other options of where they have contests. Or Kaiser, I've been to Kaiser and I've done contests. For the first time, I went to downtown LA at LAUSD and did a contest there. Wow. I actually did 2 contests there. I was helping out. So wherever it is that you're doing a contest, it doesn't matter. It's what do you say? So there's several pitches that you do. Number 1, you pitch to the people that you're getting donations from. Got to have a good sales pitch for them. The donation letter says most of it. And as long as you really have good conviction behind your words and you have a good vocal inflection over the phone or in person to that donor, and stress to them that it's tax deductible for their business, that It benefits them because it promotes their business, especially if they're a small business. Small businesses, they are constantly competing with bigger businesses, and they're willing to donate. It's just a matter of how to do it. Now, the day of the actual contest, you have specific words or phrases that I like to use that get you donations. That's how it's supportive. So first, you gotta know your audience. It's the first thing. If you say the wrong thing to your audience, you're gonna pitch to them. Guess what? They're not gonna want to buy tickets. It's all how you know the audience. How do you know the audience? Well, you've been practicing your speeches. You've gone through your CC manual. You know how to make good eye contact. You know how to use body gestures to get it across. So what I typically do, if you have all these items laid out, and let's say I pick 1 to 2 of the most expensive items on the table. That's what I pitch. Then when I go stand up here, I have my bucket, and I'm in front of you guys, the audience, and I'm getting ready to pitch to you. I will talk up the 2 items. Especially if one of them, for instance, if Maurice Domino or Ozia were donating a coaching session, I'd talk it up because they're giving out their time. It's a free thing. It's valuable, worth sometimes thousands of dollars depending on who's donating the session. It's a great opportunity that they're giving us to try to win one of their, coaching sessions. So you talk it up a bit. You say the right words. And what do you say? If you're talking about a specific service or product, for example, if Ozia were donating her Mind Mastery coaching session, I'd say, ladies and gentlemen, how would you like to excel your business tenfold? And you don't even have to leave your home. How would you like to sit in front of the computer, have a web chat with someone that can give you one-on-one personal mentorship, mind mastery? That's amazing at what she does. Well, buy your tickets today, and you could have that coaching session in your own home. You could sit there in your PJs and do a webinar with that person, one-on-one coaching for an hour. It's a $500 value, but it's yours for free if you buy your tickets today. You see how I sold that?
Great.
What I did is I pitched the actual product or service. I mentioned the person's name, and I said to the entire audience. The next thing the audience is going to go, well, how much are tickets? I've heard that yelled out before. So what you do is, most of the time, on the bucket, I always make sure whether it's sticking up here, sticking out of the bucket, or taped to the bucket, I have how much I'm willing to charge. Now, how do you know to price your tickets? So that you get a fair price and you make a profit in the end that will pay for. Because remember, the purpose of doing your raffle is to pay for the costs of if you had to do refreshments and you need to be reimbursed, or if you bought decorations that need to get reimbursed, the trophies that the district pays for, you're sort of paying them back. Any copies you made for flyers, agendas, and so forth, that has to be paid for. Those things have to be paid for. If you're having to pay for the venue, you need to make sure you take all those things into account. And have it here. I prefer having it taped to the bucket. You know why? Because then, as you're walking around with the bucket, just refer them to this. Oh, would you like to know how much it is? Right here. If they don't understand your price cost, explain it to them. Or if you're like me and you have a photographic memory, just memorize it and then walk around and tell them.
I want to show you guys how I actually get money from people when we're at contests. So this is what you do. You pick on your friends, okay? Because Alethea was like telling you how to sell an item. Like, oh yeah, that's great. I want her coaching. But, your friends are at the Toastmaster convention and we all have different friends, right?
Yep.
And I'm like, Oscar, will you do me a favor? Look at this. I know you have $5 in your pocket. Sometimes I'll even walk up to some of the male Toastmasters and I'll say, I'll just do this. I'll be like, hey, you want to give me a $20 bill, don't you? And like if I do it and they're standing in front of other male Toastmasters, 99% of the time they'll give me a $20 bill because they don't want to look bad in front of their friends, right? So I'll be like, look, So it's like the way you word things, right? It's like, I'm like, you want $20 for this stuff. He doesn't really, but then I go, oh my gosh, for $20 you get 35 tickets, and then you have 35 chances. So I know one lady who put all 35 tickets in Maurice Domino's boot camp. Do you think she won that? She did. She paid $20 and she put all of her tickets in Maurice Domino's boot camp. So just be like picking on your friends, just be a little bit flirty. Be like, Sandra, you've got a $10 bill, right? And then Sandra will be like, no, I really don't. And then you go, oh, Sandra, you don't need those new pair of shoes. You want some raffle tickets, right? So you just have to convince people. You have to convince them that it's helping the district, right? You just have to convince them that
Right.
you're helping the district.
That's the second part of
Yeah.
the second part of pitching to them. First, number one is you're pitching the service or product. So if Warner Brothers donated something, which they did, they happily donated a whole bunch of items this year. They donated Superman hats, Batman items, and Wonder Woman things, which is great. And they even donated the movie Man of Steel, which is great because I ended up, Janice paired them together. Now sometimes you get several items of the same type of thing. Pair them together and make one like gift basket or small little basket of goodies together. Because I ended up winning some of that. That brings up a good point. You can, if you're the raffle person and you have to go around selling tickets, there's no reason you can't buy tickets to donate. You buy tickets, you put it in. If you want the prize, sure. I've bought tickets in all the raffle contests I've done. Why? Because there's at least one item there that I want, and it's supporting Toastmasters. And that brings me to the second part of your pitch. When you're pitching to your audience, the second part is, the first part is pitching the service or product that the friend or company donated and provided. Make sure you do the higher ticket items that were donated because it's more valuable and it'll attract and draw attention. The second thing I do is the purpose for buying the raffle tickets to your general audience. I had a lady come up to me after the Toastmaster contest, and she said, I just want you to know, you told me the value of why I'm buying tickets. Nobody has ever done that. And you're the first person that's actually sold me tickets where I pulled money out and bought them. Because I told her the purpose behind giving the money. You can just go up to Brian and say, hey, Brian, give me 20 bucks. What's he going to do? He's not going to do anything. I mean, he might give me the 20 bucks. I could flirt like Janice said. On the other hand, he wants to know, why am I giving my 20 bucks away to you? What's the purpose? And I'll say, well, guess what? Have you enjoyed the conference so far? He's going to say, yes. Did you like the speakers and the leadership that you gained from this? Yes. Well, would you like to do another one in the future? Oh, yes. 20 bucks will support that. And that's the purpose. That's why you're paying me 20 bucks and I'm handing you these raffle tickets, because you're supporting a future contest, a future event that you can bring your friends to, that they can benefit as well. And by putting in the purpose in your pitch, you're going to get more ticket sales. Now, sometimes you're going to get hard people who don't really want to buy tickets, because there was one person in the district who's never bought tickets from me for 6 years. I've been trying to get this person to buy tickets, and no matter what I say or do, this person is, nope, not going to buy tickets. They're not. They don't. And they still,
Get him?
no,
Oh, darn.
still didn't get the person. But here's the third thing that you can do. After you've done the pitch of the sales, the product or service for the actual donation that was given, you've done the purpose, then you have a third option. And that is something related to something about the audience. For example, usually when I come up, if it's the fall contest and I'm selling raffle tickets and we're having this conference and it's the fall conference, I say to the audience, guess what's coming up? Christmas. How many of you already started shopping for presents online or at the mall? Do you want to avoid all the traffic and all the hassle? There's some fabulous prizes on the table. Come get some tickets from me, see me at the break. And then I list out a couple of the prizes that are on the table that they could potentially win. If you want to win a prize and mail it to your mom for Mother's Day, I throw in things like that to the audience. Why? Because I'm relating it to them. How does it relate to them? Is another purpose for them buying raffle tickets. The reason I bought raffle tickets is to be supportive of the district, but also because there's fun things I want. Everything I wanted at the spring conference I won. And I gave them all away, except for a couple of the board games. I kept that for myself because I work with kids a lot and I need something to occupy them, so I spend hours playing board games with them and it's fun. So make sure that your sales pitch, now part of your sales presentation when you're pitching is not just to the audience, that's your first thing, is to go up there and pitch to the audience of hundreds and hundreds of Toastmasters or maybe a group of 50 or 20 or 40 depending on how many show up to your area or division contest. But your next part is the one-on-one pitch. You have one-on-one sales pitch. That means you have to walk around with your bucket and go to each person. And you have to come up to them and say, wow, Sandra, I love that hair. Looking good today. And then Sandra's going to turn around and say, thank you. What can I do you for? And I'm going to say, you should ask that.
I had to get that thought down.
It's funny you should ask that. I saw that you were eyeballing some of the prizes there. And I wondered if you bought your raffle tickets yet. Oh, you haven't? Well, guess what? Some of these potentially have your name on them. And they could be just for you. Or your husband, children, grandkids, whomever you wish to have a prize for. Perhaps you want to reward somebody in your club because they got trained for the first time as a club officer. Buy one of those prizes. All you have to do is give me $10 and I will give you these 15 tickets. They have your name written all over. And then she hands me the money, I give her the tickets, bam, I sold her.
Who could resist that sales?
Okay? So, individual. If you know the person really well that you're selling tickets to, you go up to them individually. Now, here's another thing that you're going to run up against, which I will mention briefly. A lot of times, and I've had this many times, whether it's an area division or a conference, you will get someone that will buy tickets from you. And they'll come up to you later after they've already bought the tickets. What happens if I have to leave the contest early but I win a prize? What do? Do I write my name on the back? Because if you look at the back of your raffle tickets, there is a place where you can put contact information. So what I tell them is I said, here's what you do. You have two options. Number one, if you know there is somebody else here from your club, tell them to pick up your raffle prize. Give them your tickets. So what I do is, Brian's from NBC Universal, I'd hand him the tickets. Brian has to leave early. He said, go find Kavar. She's going to stay later. Give Kavar your tickets. Kavar will check them for you. She will pick up your prize, and that's how you get it. That's one way of doing it. Number two is I say, well, give it to me. I have your contact information, your email. I will figure out a way to get you your prizes if you've won. I'll check your tickets. And I always am good at doing that. And I'll throw the tickets in the bucket, save them, and check them later after everyone else has come to check their tickets. So what happens, so here's the next part. What happens when there's all these raffle prizes sitting on the table, you've taped your winning ticket to each of the prizes, and no one's picking them up, and everyone's cleaned up, and now you got all these prizes. What do?
Save them for the next.
That's right. You save them for the next contest. You do is you peel the tape off, throw away the ticket, move them on to the next contest.
That's something I want to interrupt you for.
Go ahead.
Okay, we forgot to tell you that it's very important if you're running a raffle, you need to bring these items with you. You need to bring tape. Make sure you bring 2 or 3 rolls of tape, because during the intermission, or not intermission, is it keynote speaker? There's a halfway point through
There's
the
a break in
conference.
between contests.
Yeah,
And
where that's when we go, and when everyone's paying attention to the keynote, we pull some of the tickets and then we tape them onto the actual prize.
That's right.
And it's pretty important to tape it on to the prize itself, like, because that way, like, if I win this bucket of beer and popcorn here, I know that that person has won. So then also these things are important to have. Also have raffle tickets, because you can't have a raffle with no raffle tickets. Make sure, oh, I have to sneeze, excuse me. Make sure you bring change. Thank you. So try to bring some singles and some fives and whatever. Make sure you bring red cups, like either red cups, silver cups, gold cups. We like to use the Solo plastic cups, because they can be used over again. Like Alethea said, she's had those for about 5 years. And I use paper cups because you have to end up throwing the paper cups away. And you don't have to buy index cards. These cards, I don't know, some of you guys work at offices and stuff. Unfortunately, these cards are from somebody who got fired, but it had his name on there. So I was told to throw away 3 boxes of buck slips, and I was like, okay, I'll throw them away. And then I took them home and I put them in my car, and then I used the paper cutter and I cut that person's name off. So, we're trying to economize here. So whatever you can do to make your raffle shine. And another thing, well, you guys can read this list yourself. I don't need to go over it. But another thing Alethea forgot to say is, if you have a theme for the contest,
Sure.
we had the 70s theme, so elaborating on thinking outside of the box. Since we had a 70s theme conference at the Castaways restaurant, I called Moonlight Roller Disco and I got roller skating lessons.
Which is awesome.
And she said that the last contest we had was superheroes. So she called up someone at Warner Brothers and was able to secure all these superhero prizes and even Harry Potter stuff. So it was
it was really good.
You try to get the donations to your theme. Like if Janet or Lance tells you what the theme is, it's always fun to have some prizes that go with the theme of your contest.
Now, typically, you have 3 different contests that are run twice a year. You have the area, the division, and then the big conference itself. If you're going to be an area or division director, you have a smaller contest. Typically, what I like to do is try to get between 25 and 30 donations. You don't have to have that many. You can have as little as 10. Depends how big your venue is and where you're having to set up. I did a raffle for Eric Fonseca for the first time. He helped me out with something, so I said, I'll do you a solid and I'll come and be your raffle person. He's like, oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Well, we're helping each other. That's what we do. But what they gave me was I had a small space, just from the lectern there over here to this eraser is how much space I have for the raffle.
Oh gosh.
To put prizes.
You had nothing.
You had no space.
Well, practically I had no space, but here's the thing. Wherever it is you have your contest, make sure that you already have tables preset and where they're going to place their items. Figure out a place. So I had this small space to work with, but I made it work. So what I did is I took the more attractive, valuable items and I laid those out on the table. And I put the cups next to it. So you get an item like this. This is an actual raffle item. Put the cup here like so. You put one of these name placards next to it so they know. And here's the cool thing. When you're putting the name placard and you're making these up, you can do them on the computer, save you time, or you can just, if you're crafty like myself or Janice, then you can hand do it, get out your art supplies and go crazy. I love doing that because I'm crafty, so I prefer not to use the computer, and I get out my markers or my paints and go to town and whatnot. And then you just put this next to it. Now, when I'm making these up, I make sure I put the name of the company or person that donated, if they want it. Some people like to be anonymous. Like this year at the spring conference, we had Ellen DeGeneres tickets. I wanted to win those so bad because
So did I.
I know who won it. I know who won the prize, and I was,
Yeah, but she also spent $40 on tickets.
That's right, she
She
did.
gave
But
Alethea
here's the
a
thing.
20 and she gave
The
me a
person
20.
that donated,
Mm-hmm.
the person that donated the Ellen tickets and Ellen items wanted to remain anonymous. Some people don't like to be recognized for the big donation they made. So you don't always have to put it. All you need, the main thing you put here is just what the item is. Bottle of wine. What type of wine. Now, so when you're setting up your raffle setup, whoever you delegate to be your raffle chair for your contest is the person that needs to set up the raffle. Is the person that needs to go out and secure their team and get donations. It's not the area or division governor's job to do that or the contest chair if you're doing a contest chair for a big conference. For example, this year at the spring conference, it was Kathleen Lubin and Sandra Humphreys who were the conference chairs. Mm-hmm. At the last minute, they had Aida, she's Brandy Toastmasters, Burbank not Burbank, Bank of America Westlake Toastmasters is her club. So that's a lunchtime club. She works for Bank of America, so she works during the day. And I thought, oh, she's really new. What is she going to do? I've been doing this for 6 years. She did a great job. She managed to do stuff. But with Sandra and Kathleen, it's not their job to go around getting donations. They don't want that headache because they're in charge of the whole conference itself. And they have a lot of other things on their plate. So the best thing to do is make sure you get ahead of time. You delegate someone who's good to be your raffle master or raffle chair. It's their job to get at least 2 people on their team who help secure the donations and who help sell the tickets on the day of your event. And you want to get someone good. Try to get someone, and this is how I sell them. You want to know how to get a good salesperson? This is what I do. I say, hey Janice,
Yeah.
are you working in your competent leader manual and you're trying to finish it to get another educational this year?
Yes.
Well, guess what? There is something in here that says special club events in the back. And if you'd like to, I can evaluate you and you can check mark this off if you're willing to help sell raffle tickets at my event.
Okay.
Of course she's going to say yes because it helps. Have those available.
Pass out the forms after. Sorry.
Do that.
Oh, is it over?
Well, we were gonna ask you guys if you had any questions because
Right.
we have, like, I think people are leaving.
Okay, so
Good.
I guess our time has ended, so
Do you have the evaluation forms?
they didn't give us any.
Oh, really?
I don't see any in the packet.
I'll evaluate you guys great.
Oh,
Thank you,
thanks.
Terry.
How come we didn't get evaluation forms? Is there?
Unless I didn't get them at the top.
Oh, here. Here's one.
I got one.
Oh, you get one.
I don't
Can I
know.
have one?
Here.
Thank you. Wait.
That was from the last class I
No,
did.
I know. I'm looking for. Here's another one. Do you guys have any questions, or did you feel that we pretty much covered like everything you needed to know about running a raffle?
Oh, yeah, you covered everything.
Okay, good.
You know what I know about running a raffle? To call the 2 of you.
Oh, we'll see. She's retiring.
Yeah, I'm actually I've been doing it for 6 years. I want to compete again, so.
Yeah, but we kind of want to enter the speech contest, which is why we're trying to pass on our knowledge to everybody.
There you go. There you
Now,
go.
So.
if you're going to be working with other area or division directors this year and you need more information on what we discussed today because there weren't a lot of you here, all you got to do is I have most of your contact information. I have Brian's email, Terry's email, Sandra's email, and a lot of others. And I'll just email you guys and let you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I can also, what I can do is, I can give you recommendations of other people aside from me and Janice that are really good at doing raffles.
Oh, Brian, will you do me a favor? Wait, let me do that one.
Oh,